It's important for every viewer to understand this is an RPG server. There's obviously leaders, mods, but you're creating your own story here, man. We're gonna have a tournament where we have one stream on a weekend where we look at all the cities or monuments, whatever buildings, and chat has a poll where they choose number one, and that one wins either money or merch or whatever. We are going on a tour. We're gonna look at the TommyKay Minecraft server that has been in development for over a year by a lot of people. And Jesus, am I excited to see that, man.
Well, yeah, welcome to the server. Kind of, we've been working on it for quite a while and kind of proud of what we have so far. I mean, obviously we're still in like the, let's say, finishing phases. But yeah, just kind of polishing, finishing touches here and there, and almost hopefully looking for a release, I'd say, later this month.
Did you guys build this house?
This was built by Joran. Yes, he's one of our
that's always blowing my mind that someone actually built this, man.
The biggest switch you'll probably see is TOWNY. It's like, basically, if you remember the old factions plugin, it was pretty standard.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything like, it was just kind of basic. There wasn't really much you can customize with it or do anything with it, so we switched over to TOWNY, which is a lot more intuitive and a lot more like, I guess, better for roleplay aspects. But in terms of towns and claims, it's basically going to work the same way as factions, except for one major difference is that you actually have to purchase your claim. So you basically purchase a chunk. So this chunk that's highlighted here was to, if you kind of get in and get out of the chunk, you'll see that it says Tommy Stan Hamlet, PvP, home, whatever, right? But like, that's essentially a purchase chunk.
You need to pay money, yeah, there's money in this game to
yes,
get
so,
one of these chunks.
Yes, so we're going to have a money economy that's essentially going to be
clever as fuck. How much money is one chunk going to be?
It started at 5k, if I remember correctly. Anyone?
And it goes up over the more I have, or what?
Yeah, so basically it goes up in increments of, I think, 2% per chunk, from what I remember. This is another town, so this is like called Test Town. Okay. So here you can have, the reason why I like this plugin a lot is because you can kind of redistribute the purpose of said plots. So like if you come over here, you see this is a bank plot now. So you can store all of your money inside of this bank plot and like have like a faction or like a town bank essentially where everyone can like store their money and kind of keep it safe for a bit.
And nobody can take that?
Nobody can take it except for your town mayor, so the leader of your town obviously, and you yourself. And here you have something like a jail plot as well. So basically the way this works is, let's say you have a war, for example. During the war, you get like a prisoner of war, right? A POW. And he automatically, if somebody during the war dies within one of your plots here, so let's say right here, we're fighting it out, and then boom, 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 I die or you die, and this is your enemy's territory, you automatically get sent into their prison, so into the jail right here. Yeah, and the only way to get out of the jail is either basically two ways. One, or three ways rather. One, you wait for the duration of the entire jail period, which is quite long. It's about 24 hours, I think, IRL. So that's quite...
If I'm offline, it still ticks down.
Yeah, so it still ticks down while you're offline. It's just like, 24 hours from the moment that you're in jail all the way until you get released. Or you can, there's a way to pay it. You basically have bail. So, the town leader, who's the leader of this plot, can just basically set a bail for you. Say, like, I don't remember, I think it was like 50k, for example. Then you can pay, if you pay that 50k or somebody from your faction pays that 50k, then they can instantly just bail you out and boom, you're free. There's a last option being where you can RP it in a way, right? So you can kind of like bribe, let's say I'm in here, right? You close the door on me. And then I could be like, hey, buddy, you want to like, I'll send you like 100 grand for my faction if you want to like bail me out of this jail right now.
One blow job. Here we go. Oh, I'm going to blow you guys. I like this. Yeah. I like the 24 hours. I like when people have to pay for their actions. You can't just do what they want.
This is just like a home plot where basically sometimes home plots can be like spawn points where like whenever you do like, so we're gonna have like, remember if you had /home, we're gonna completely take out /home and we're only gonna keep /t home, so wherever your town is. So basically the spawn point of your town, that's the only thing we're gonna keep. Everything else is no teleportation. We want to make it as much RP as possible as well. So a town is anything between, I think it was 3 to 15 people. Basically that's like your hamlet, so to speak, or like a village. Then you have your bigger faction, which is like a massive conglomerate of factions called a nation. And that's like, you know, that's basically anything 20 plus. So at that point you'd have to actually apply to us as staff for a nation. We look over your application, we see if the nation's good, if the RP is fine, we accept it, and boom, you can become a big nation. Wars are going to be fought a little bit differently this time around too, due to the plugin. So basically you have a point system, right? Kind of like, think of it as like EU4 or Hoi4 or any like Paradox game that has like a war score thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah, so you basically have a certain amount of points that you have to achieve in order to actually win the war. And there's like two main ways that you basically get those points. One is through chunk claim. Let's say me and you were fighting. Boom, boom, boom. We're killing each other. I kill you. And then let's say 2 of my other guys are in this chunk claim and none of your guys from your faction are in this chunk, right? Therefore, the countdown timer starts where we start claiming the chunk. After 5 minutes of it being uncontested, we then claim the chunk, therefore we score more points. You can kind of game the system by going to their capital tile. So let's say in this case, this is the capital tile, right?
Yeah.
This is where their home spawn is and everything. This, if you automatically get this, I think this gives you like is it instant war goal?
So you gotta make sure that your capital point doesn't get taken. Exactly,
because if your capital point gets taken, it's essentially the war is done.
I like this system because it actually makes people want to build fortresses and stuff.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning that wars are only going to be fought on weekends this time around.
You have like a tower here. I will not be able to destroy that tower, right?
No, I think if any staff can correct me, I think you can destroy the tower. You could actually
you can place TNT.
If you place TNT, for example, it regens anyways because we have like a regen plugin. But like for the moment, for the time being of the war, it will be destroyed. No.
Happy New Year.
There we go. So if you look at it now, it's slowly going to start regenning after a bit. I don't remember how long it is, but it should be like a few seconds.
Is that on the whole server?
Yes.
But it only regens TNT damage.
It only regens TNT damage.
A question I see often, and also I remember back in the day got a lot, is do they have a moving ship plugin? I hear that a lot.
A moving ship plugin? No, we do not.
Okay. I didn't know how to build a house, and I was getting a book for my little cousin, but because of Corona I didn't meet him. And now, look at this shit. I'm gonna have a great house. Look at this shit. I'm prepared, man. It like explains... Wait, it doesn't explain. Huh?
I guess everyone is familiar with jobs from the previous 2 servers. But this way we kind of fix it up a little bit. You can just do /jobs as a command. And you can check out all the jobs that are currently there, as well as your progress within said job. And these jobs, basically the whole point of them is they get you money. So this is the main source of income for you and other players within your town. But yeah, those are going to be the same, like the standard jobs that everyone has access to. It's not like previous servers where you had to like pick 1 or 2 jobs. This is like you have all the jobs already as standard. Your main source of income.
I really loved personally about the last one was the auction house, the public auction house.
So that's another thing we've kind of we've discussed a few times. We're still thinking of possibly adding an auction house, but maybe only at spawn, because we kind of really wanted to encourage people to play more RP, to actually like less teleporting around, none of this nonsense.
I love that. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so we kind of like, if there was going to be an auction house, it would only be at spawn. Or the best way as well too is just kind of like, you know, you can I guess advertise in global chat, be like, hey, listen, I have like 10 diamonds I want to sell.
Come to me, right?
Yeah, come to me, or I come to you, or whatever, right? You can be a traveling merchant. You can literally go set up a shop in another person's faction. There is a bounty system, so if you go /bounty right now. So basically, you can also roleplay. Not only do you roleplay like like robbers and stuff like that. Those technically aren't bounties, right? But specifically, you can people who want to play solo and just be bounty hunters, or be bounty hunters in their faction, epic. Right? Yeah, this is like an alternative way to jobs to make money as well.
For $1,000, I get a compass that shows me. It doesn't show me where the enemy is. It shows me how many blocks he's away or something, right?
Well, it just shows you the kind of general direction of where he can be found, or his last known location. So you can level up bounty hunting. You can level up just the same way you can level up your jobs. That's of course you gain experience every time when you perform certain tasks in your jobs.
What do I get from level 2 bounty hunting? What do I get?
Titles.
There's a leaderboard as well too for bounty hunters, just for people who are like more competitive in that sense.
Is money income balanced in the way? I'm always trying to imagine scenarios. So a guy has no life, he's chilling on the server all day, and he's just mining all night. He's building, he's mining. Does he get super rich from that, or you know?
So I'm actually glad you asked that, because yes, you can get super rich from that, but there is also a taxation system in this game.
Okay.
So we have basically a towny tax system. Which, you know, from your town, in order to keep your town alive, you essentially have a fee, so to speak. Every day or every 24 hours, the towny plugin will take a certain amount of money from your town bank in order to keep the town alive. If those funds are not within the town bank, let's say, however, it depends on how many chunks you have, obviously, that's your fee. But whatever that number is, let's say it's 50,000 that you owe to the town bank at the end of the day to keep your town going for the next day.
So I'm building a big city, but everybody's getting lazy and doesn't play anymore. Then your town is gonna crash.
Yeah, it'll fall into ruin. So basically a ruined town it'll still stay here, all the buildings will still stay, but it'll just essentially, it won't be claimed anymore, it won't be a town, so people can just go in and take whatever the hell they want to, like, you know, break
stuff.
That's how you build
an economy, man.
We're also incorporating a little plugin, kind of, I guess, my favorite plugin called BREWERY. Basically, it's we're going to be switching our potions, and you can make a lot of brews with this plugin as well. So obviously we're going to have a list of banned potions and stuff like that, but mainly a lot of the OP potions that you're going to see are going to be banned from the server. The potatoes, red mushrooms, brown mushrooms, and then obviously the glass bottle and the clock. You can put these items into a cauldron. Yeah, so you can keep putting in as many as you want of each item and each ingredient. And then if you take your clock and right click on the cauldron as well, you can see that's giving you a message saying the cauldron has started boiling. It's boiling your ingredients that you're putting in there, which after a while, it's kind of a guessing game depending on if you have the ingredients list or not. You can kind of make something out of it, either vodka or beer or, like, you know, a mead, a special type of potion, you know, anything. You put the potion in the brewing stand, which then it starts distilling it. So at that point, you know, you can start distilling it, and this is all trial and error, right?
I've been busy.
We gotta cook, Jesse.
So you can drink that. This is kind of what I prepared earlier for you.
Oh, what the? Okay, I have like buffs. I'm drunk, and oh, Jesus.
We'll see what happens. Yep, there you go. So it's like a fun little thing, basically, where it's like
Portuguese, man. Look at that.
The only way to get rid of that drunkenness is obviously time, or you can drink milk. You might be pressing WASD, but like it might be doing something.
If you guys pushing me, it's the game.
Yeah, that was the game. The game is like forcing you to go in different directions.
It's like my dad coming to my room as a kid. Jesus. Oh God. Can I roleplay as a drunk? You can, Domi? I think you can.
Yeah. You can.
You can also do that in Minecraft too, yes.
We want to lower the time to kill on the server, so we changed up the armor values and how to craft certain armor. Like diamond armor and netherite are still the strongest, that's like the new one that got added with the latest update.
Okay.
We like lowered all the armor values, so that diamond is not as strong as it's like default. And the same goes for every other armor, and we also added like new armors. Normally you can't get something like a chain armor, that's right here. But through custom crafting you can craft them with a new item. Like you now have chainmail that you can use to craft chain.
Okay. How would I make chainmail?
3 iron nuggets is 1 chainmail.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's like custom recipes basically that we have for each of these things now.
After 1.8 you can block with shields. But we disabled that, and now like the shields, you can still have them in the offhand, but they are now like in armor.
Okay, so I should never block with a shield. It's just armor now.
Yes. We also decided to remove the armor enchantment, so you can't enchant your armor, and instead some certain pieces of the armor have a gemstone slot. If you hover over it, you can see that the diamond chest
over here.
they create a gemstone slot, and then you have certain gems you can put in these slots that give you a certain effect.
So people like me that are newbie at this game and don't enchant all the time have it a bit better now.
Yep, exactly. We wanted to make it a little bit, I guess it's a bit more casual, but a bit also a more RPG-ish system that a lot of people will understand.
Fire immunity, man.
A respawnable mine system. So in these mines that we've kind of built from scratch, or builders built from scratch, we're going to have a respawnable ores. So basically this is the only place in the entire world that you can get diamonds.
And emeralds.
And emeralds, and sometimes iron. But iron is also going to be spawned throughout the world, so here you can just find some extra stuff. But basically, the whole point of these mines and the whole premise is the fact that we can limit and control the supply of diamonds and emeralds on the server, because these mines are only going to be open, I think, about 12 hours a day or something like that, basically. And they cycle through, so we have 9 mines in total, and they're just going to be cycling through, like, let's say this is mine 3 right now that we're in, so today is Friday, so the active mines are mine 3, 4, and 8. So only those 3 mines are going to be active, while all the other mines are shut down and closed, and you can't access them. You can't even go inside them.
How many mines are there?
9 in total.
You don't tell anyone where they are. People have to find out themselves.
Yep, of course. Yep.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
That means a faction will spawn camp mines.
I mean,
Well-
that's the thing, right? So basically, the mines are available. They're PvP areas. So kind of like if a lot of people
that's
from
cool.
last season remember, it's like King of the Hill, but it's not necessarily King of the Hill, because here it's instead of a fight for points, here it's a fight for resource.
Can you claim a mine or the area around it?
No.
No, you cannot.
After a while, after like some weeks, these mines are empty.
No. So they
No,
they
it's
respawn.
Someone says, can you dig yourself out of this, aka make a second
Nope.
entrance?
No.
All of these
Okay.
blocks are they're totally unbreakable.
Workers down.
Some mines promote, like, where you can have like a certain faction camping the top, and like, let's say one faction goes down all the way to the bottom, and
clever.
they think they're uncontested, and then they come back up to the top, and there's like a band of goons just waiting for them, being like, haha, give me all your diamonds,
Clever.
right? And then they just kill them, right? Like, and this mine is more so geared towards, a lot of people can just come in and take the stuff, and like, kind of, if they meet, they can kill each other, but if not, you can kind of, I guess, sneak away a little bit. With not the whole inventory of diamonds and emeralds, but at least something, right? Like, you at least can escape unscathed rather.
Jesus.
Alright, so we've changed farming completely. We have limited the way you can farm to biomes. So if you take this seed, for example, left click on the dirt. Then
Wheat
you should
grows
see
at
this-
5%, dice at 80% in the desert biome.
Crops are now much harder to grow in certain biomes, and it will
Easier
force
though.
players to trade with each other so they can get food, for example. But that's like the normal biome in Minecraft. And if you take a seed here, you can see that it grows much better here.
Okay, I see it, yeah. 5%, okay.
So now, what I hope to do with this is that we force trade with the nations in different biomes and make them trade with each other, because usually food is so easily available in Minecraft that you normally don't have an issue. But hopefully with this, it will make it a bit harder.
In either way, gets more diplomacy and trade going on.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
technically, you could also try and attack such a faction that actually has so many.
Or that's another option always,
Yeah.
of course.
Everything is an option, so every choice you pick for diplomacy, whether it be hostile or
Scary.
friendly, it goes some way.
Gold blocks function as weed killers because gold is usually pretty useless in Minecraft, so we decide to use that. So the gold blocks prevent all these crops from dying, even though they grow at a super slow rate.
Someone said, do not go to Sarge's town, it's a black hole of time.
This is going to be New World's company capital. It's going to be a bit of a roleplay center.
You're kind of describing a neutral roleplay place, in a way.
Yes, in a way. So far, it's definitely going to remain neutral in any sense. It's just going to be like a roleplay area. You can possibly go to a tavern here buying some drinks. So maybe that is at best. Maybe some building blocks for any rare blocks that you can't really easily get, but you do want to use for building. So that's something that would be in place over here. Purpose of it is that later on you can do some quests and events as well by the characters. That will be some of the staff or people who apply for it, but also just standard NPCs. But those are like mostly updates that will mostly come after the release.
The last thing, or the last leg of the tour now we can show you, would be the dungeons, which is a big kind of
shit!
Yeah, that's kind of our grand
Is there a
finale,
40-man
so to
raid?
speak.
Back in the day, in the old server, I don't know much about Minecraft. I was always fantasizing a plugin that has like boss raids or something. That would be sick, man. Oh shit, this is the Pandaria one?
So this is what we call, I guess, right now the Chinese dungeon. We'll probably have a better name for it sooner or later. But yeah, so basically the whole point of these dungeons is kind of like, kind of like World of Warcraft in the same sense, where you just go on raids with your town or with your nation.
Have fun with them.
How do I get this? You guys are making this very hard. so that people. I love
per
that.
intention.
Oh, I lost some money.
Yeah, so
That's good.
whenever you die, I think you lose about 10% of your money. You want to promote a lot of coordination between you guys, because these mobs, they're not easy to kill. Like, soloing this is, I wouldn't say impossible, but next to impossible. This is meant to be team coordinated. You get a bunch of people from your town, you go in here, and you basically just do the dungeon, right? Like, as you would in the other RPG. So this is another, like, you know, assassin right here. He's got another effect as well.
Different mobs, different levels, different...
Yeah. The temple guards are like your, like, kind of, I guess, brutes in a way. Meanwhile, the disciples and the assassins, they can kind of, like, have an invisible effect, so I can, I guess, demonstrate that. Or I'll just show it you like this. Alright, they have like an invisible effect that they can do, and boom, they're gone for a bit off your screen. Each dungeon has its own boss, and that's where you'll find the next boss. Yeah. So basically, yeah, the boss is obviously the hardest to kill, but he drops all the good loot. Not needless to say, all of these mobs here, they all drop loot as well.
I was about to ask how many dungeons are there, but I even like don't even want to ask, so people get surprised by them or something.
Yeah,
there are multiple, that's the answer.
They're multiple, yeah.
This is literally World of Warcraft for autistic people.
Thank you.
Here we have an orc dungeon, or a barbarian outpost, so to speak. It's just another one of the dungeons. Yeah, so that's the drummer. So the drummer like plays music while he's trying to attack you, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like a morale.
Jeez,
all these guys have like certain stats.
How hard do you think is it for you to balance it, to make sure that, you know, if a town of 30 people just walks in here and kills everything in a second?
I'd like to see them try.
I would like to see that happen.
Okay, so
these guys
seem certain that this is not easy.
No, it's not easy at all.
Let's say the scenario is we can always update the mobs themselves.
Oh yeah, like it'll literally take, you know, a couple hours just to, like, you know, edit their health and whatnot and stuff like that, right? Like it's not necessarily if we need to tweak something, we could tweak something on the fly. That's always not an issue, but you know, it's the issue is here that, like, you know, this is a hard dungeon and it's meant to be that way.
Shit,
right?
I'm not gonna spoil. I'm not going down here.
Oh, actually, yeah, wait, I forgot we're not supposed to go down there. But
Can you build around this area?
no, you can't. This is hands down our best dungeon. The mobs aren't implemented here just yet. Yeah, it's going to be another dungeon. This is kind of like our grand, I guess, shining piece, so to speak. Like, it's definitely probably one of the best dungeons, at least in my opinion, from the way it's designed. Yeah, you could just kind of have like a wraparound now, I guess, of how, so chat can appreciate it. And big shout outs to Exodus if you're in the chat. Like, you did an amazing job on this dungeon, man.
We're gonna have a tournament where we have one stream on a weekend where we look at all the cities or monuments, whatever buildings, and chat has a poll where they choose number one, and that one wins money or merch or whatever. This is an RPG server. There's obviously leaders, mods, but you're creating your own story here, man. Guys, thank you so much. Jesus.
Yes.
Yep. Thank you, Tommy,
I have a
for
weird
streaming,
feeling that
honestly.
you guys are gonna get overrun by people chatting to you.
I mean, that's fine. We've already been doing that for the last few months. Like, obviously, the meme "when server," that was always the biggest meme on this entire channel.
I mean,
but like, yeah,
I've already gotten 10 DMs.
and so it begins.